Good afternoon, all. Thank you for joining us at this media session with Chelsea Sharks prop Thomas du Toit. Just before opening the floor for questions, I apologize for the late commencement of this media interaction. The floor is now open for questions.
Thomas? Sorry. Okay. Thomas, we've seen how much conditions have played such a big role last week for you guys, although you weren't there. When you guys played Bordeaux over there in France as well a couple of weeks ago, you got the hot weather here. Are you hoping to use it to your advantage, obviously, on Saturday? And just also in general, I mean, how important are these conditions to each team, each home team?
Absolutely vital to use the conditions for an advantage. You know, we've been training in it for the past couple of weeks. I think we realized today with the change in weather and climate from the guys who came back from Connacht, you know, they're really struggling, and it's a second day back home. So, you know, the travel is real. It's difficult, and yeah, we're obviously not expecting them to travel the day before they play. They're really here, so they'll get used to some of the conditions. But yes, it's still very tough. Even for us guys who have played and trained here before, it was still tough for them. So definitely going to try and use that to our own advantage.
Thanks.
Thanks, Michael. Can we have Marnus followed by Sabu?
Hi, it's Marnus here. I actually have more than one. Actually, my first one,
that's according to energy economist Lungile Mashele. Now, she says the next 6 months will be tough on...
You can proceed.
Okay, I actually am thought in the past months, actually one of the things lacking was that the match was not actually for 80 minutes. I don't know, I'm not English, but I'm sure you understand.
On Afrikaans.
I'm asking. Ek bedoel net ons gevoel dat daar's jy het nie altyd daar's 80 minutes daar's 'n match opgesit nie. You know, it was maybe 60 minutes or it was actually alright for a half. And is that maybe something that now you and the guys are actually working on for 80-minute performance? Yes, and actually I have more than one, and my other one is, I mean, it is a big now year World Cup and so forth. Actually, don't you want to maybe give us an insight into your aims and hopes for the year, and also with the Sharks?
Yeah, so we'll obviously always try to go for a proper 80-minute performance, and I think that is still something that we're striving for, and something we got very close to, I think, against the Bulls, where we started well and it ended well in that game. So yeah, that's definitely something that we've spoken about trying to improve, and I think that's a big target for most, or goal for most teams, is to get that perfect 80-minute performance. Yeah, and just in regards to my own personal goals, you know, as you said, World Cup year, so very, very important year for myself, for the country. And my biggest goal is to obviously make the squad for the World Cup. But you know, I'm putting that a little bit in the back mirror, you know, looking a little bit more forward, because you know the most important thing is to play rugby now. So the most important game is this coming game. And for me, it's important to play every game very well, so that I have consistent performances and that I can have something to look at, you know, needing to improve or work on going into the World Cup year. But the most important, like I said, is the URC and the Championship Cup now, Heineken Cup.
Thank you. Sabu, followed by Morgan.
How's it, Thomas? Just we've seen recently that Siya Kolisi has confirmed that at the end of the World Cup he'll go to France. Now there are reports that you might join Bath. Does this sort of put pressure on the team to kind of you know, make this year count, considering, you know, Siya's confirmed leaving? And how's your future looking with regards to those links to Bath?
Yeah, Shibu, I think it's important that that everyone here at the union focuses on what's happening right here. So it's very important for us to, you know, do very well in the competitions that we are currently involved in, and that's the most important thing for everyone. You know, it's not something that's really been spoken about a lot, because our focus is on the championship and winning the URC and hopefully winning the Heineken Cup as well. That's our biggest primary focus at the moment. So the other stuff is really kind of taking in a back seat to what is important to us. And then just in regards to my future, I haven't signed anything, so my contract just ends at the end of this season. So that's basically all the information that I can basically give you, because nothing is set in stone yet.
Thank you, Morgan.
Hi, thanks. Hi, Thomas. I just want to quickly discuss the splitting of the team into what was played last weekend and then played this weekend. How did the coaches go about explaining your roles over the last fortnight? How you're going to progress forward? And then with saying that as well, how do you ensure that the match fitness keeps going and that you guys don't have a bit of rust when you do face Bordeaux this weekend?
Yeah, I can't really speak for the coaches, so I don't really know the mindset behind it, but I will tell you that it's probably a rotational system, giving guys who've been training very well and showing up and pitching up at training sessions a chance to go in the big league. So it's definitely giving those guys opportunity, and it's also a perfect opportunity to have some guys rest. And we know with the travel schedule that it is very difficult just to pack up and play 2 games on the road, or a game on the road and then come back and play a massive game like this weekend against Bordeaux. So it is very difficult. So it's probably speaking to what the coaches have decided to do, but yeah, I can't really say for sure, but I think that might have been the thinking.
Thank
And
you.
concerning, sorry, just the second part of that question was concerning having match fitness and not being rusty when you do face Bordeaux.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think you'll lose a lot of match fitness, in a week that you rest. And through my experience, I felt like you don't really lose something straight after 1 week, maybe 2 or 3 weeks at a time. Then you will lose a little bit of it. But definitely it will still be difficult conditions, which will probably make it a little bit tougher. And I think best case scenario it is to play every game, and then you will be match fit, or as match fit as you possibly can be. But it doesn't mean that's going to do well for your body. And I think it's very important to not just have a physical break, but a mental break as well. And if you take the amount of minutes that most of these guys have played, week in and week out, it comes about just over, I think, 1,200 to 1,400 minutes already for the season. So, a mental break is necessary, and also a little bit of a physical one.
Michael, you can go ahead.
Thomas, you guys have played Bordeaux away. I know interviewing Ed a few years ago when you're still playing in France, and he just said home games for the French teams are everything. You guys obviously broke that bogey a little bit, but you play them again. What have you learned from the first game that you can take into the second game and hopefully use it to your advantage towards success?
Yeah, I think the typical things that we know about the French are true. They're big boys, they're physical, and they get a crowd behind them that really uplifts them and gives them energy. So definitely something that we took from that game, knowing that, exactly like you said, that they take a lot of confidence out of the crowd. Playing at home, it's a very important thing for us. But also knowing that when South Africans play in South Africa, we take a lot of pride in that, and we hope to make our stadium a fortress. So it's very important for us to win these home games also. And we obviously learning quite a bit from the French teams. And probably one of the points we mentioned earlier was the travel and the conditions are tough. So we're taking that all into consideration and preparing well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sabu.
Thanks again, Novash. Thomas, the scrums are huge when it comes to the French teams. Obviously your department. Is it a particular focus when it comes to a week like this? Do you make any sort of adjustments? And also, just to add to Morgan's question, when you guys are, this rested, from travel, which was arduous, obviously, from guys in other teams as well. Is there emphasis now to make sure that you do the job against Bordeaux this weekend?
Yeah, so just in regards to the scrums, we don't change anything. A scrum is a very set in stone, kind of just get better at it type of job. So no, nothing will probably change. We'll look a little bit into detail on what their props are doing, and kind of things like that. But no, we won't necessarily change a lot from our plan, and our general plan is just to be dominant. Sorry, what did you ask? What was the second question?
The second one was just about, is there further emphasis on getting the job done, considering the big guns are rested?
Yeah, I think the pressure will always be on to get the job done. That won't go away. But yes, definitely there's a certain expectation that needs to be met after a week off. I mean, there's no reason in rewarding someone for playing well and doing well in a competition and then resting, but then when you get back you don't perform well, then there's no point in it. So 100% there's definitely expectation, and I think we all realize that.
Just as a quick follow-up, Thomas, is there a certain emphasis on the Champions Cup over the URC? Or, we saw the squads obviously changed, but, are they really going concurrently in terms of emphasis at the Sharks?
Yeah, I think definitely we're putting big emphasis on the Heineken Cup, but also in the same breath, we've been mentioning quite a bit that we a little bit under pressure with the URC, especially with the resting period coming up for some of the box and stuff. We really need to perform in the URC. So I can't say that there's emphasis on either one. It's actually on both. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment.
Thank you. Are there any further questions?
Yeah, can I ask one more, please?
Well, yes, you can go ahead. That's the final one. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You guys have obviously crunched the numbers and the permutations. Is this game, if you win this game, is it there maybe perhaps a belief that you then settle to go through to the next round of 16, or is it a win both matches, which is a Harlequins next week, at all costs, away obviously?
Yeah, Morgan, like I said, the biggest, most important match is the next one, and we're treating it really like that. So 100% we're looking, I would say, just for this week at the moment. Winning at home is important. Winning this match at home is going to be vital for our space in the competition. And we firmly believe that if we get good points this weekend and hopefully points next weekend, then we'll obviously sit very pretty in the competition. So that's our main focus at the moment. And no team will ever go somewhere to just go collect one.
Sorry.
Okay. We're definitely looking at this game, as the most important one for the first one.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Thomas.